Buyers and sellers are always looking to time the market to get the most out of their investment. Just like we could have never predicted how the market would change in 2020 to 2022 from COVID, no one can ever say for sure what the market will look like in 2024. But based on current trends and what the experts say, we can get a solid idea of what may happen so you can make the best decisions for yourself. In this video, I'm going to cover the past, present, and future conditions that may help you make these decisions. Number one, the past. There are a few things we can look to the past for, but I'm just going to focus on two. First is supply versus demand. I don't need to bury the headline. Supply and demand is always the engine that fuels the market. In spite of interest rates going up and some of the other conditions I'm going to talk about in this video, the demand for a home in Florida is still really high, and there's no sign of that changing anytime soon. Although inventory is improved, it still isn't enough to match the demand for homes. So if priced properly, a home will go under contract pretty quick. This strong demand keeps the market robust, so looking at supply and demand will help with understanding the market. Second, as we talk about the past, let's talk about Generation Z. So Gen Z, I know there's some gray areas on when millennials end and Gen Z starts, but let's just say that currently a Gen Zer is someone between the ages of 11 and 26, or born between 97 and 2012. I know a teenager isn't buying a home, but those young adults have, and they do. In 2020, 30% of 25-year-olds from Gen Z owned their own homes. That's really high. In fact, it's slightly higher than the rates from millennials and Gen Xers at the same age. Gen Z homebuyers are definitely looking for more affordable areas, but this generation is building equity to possibly someday sell and buy a larger home or a home in an area they couldn't afford before. So that's a good thing. So we talked about the past. Now let's talk about the present. And there's three really important things we need to look at that are happening right now. First and foremost, insurance. And I know I talk about this a lot, but I'm going to talk about it again. Insurance in the state of Florida is a really big challenge, to say the least, and rates continue to go up. Those who even own condos have seen large jumps in their dues to cover the increase in insurance rates. Due to problems like insurance fraud and reinsurance, the insurance companies are being very particular on the condition of the home. The roof just can't be free of leaks, but just being worn out, peeling, or the age can cause problems with writing a new policy. Then we have to talk about electric, plumbing, and AC. All those things have to be in really great shape too. It is important to get an idea of what your insurance costs will be as quickly as possible. Our contracts in Florida do not give the buyer an out because you don't like the cost of insurance unless it throws off your debt-to-income ratio for the loan. And if you're paying cash, you aren't required to have insurance, so there's no safety net at all for you. So you have to really be careful with this insurance. Definitely a current issue. Second thing is pricing. The pricing of homes definitely go hand in hand with supply and demand. With strong demand, the prices of the homes in the Sarasota area have remained strong. Although there have been some modest dips in this past year in 2023, the prices are still incredibly high compared to pre-COVID days. A seller may not get as much money for their home compared to early 2023, but compared to just a few years ago, even modest properties have seen an increase of $100,000 or more. Many owners have a lot of equity in their homes, in their properties. But just because somebody has equity in their property, they could still be house rich but cash poor. So if the home needs to be sold, but the roof or other mechanicals aren't where they need to be for this new owner to get the insurance they need, there are roofing companies and some other professionals out there who are willing to get paid at closing out of the proceeds of the sale. So this way the owner doesn't have to write those big checks just to sell the home. So that's a good thing, and it's a good thing for sellers to keep in mind because this comes up a lot. So we talked about insurance, we talked about pricing. So the final consideration about this present time is really your personal needs and wants. So in spite of doing research, looking at statistics, watching the homes in your neighborhood, sometimes people just need to do what they need to do. Those personal motivations often trump everything: prices, rates, insurance, anything else I might talk about in this video. For instance, if you're looking to retire up north and need to escape the cold, that may be your motivation to move. If you have family members who need help, that could be a motivation. A job change, a motivation. I know people don't care to compromise, but sometimes investing in a property that meets your basic needs for right now, even though it's not a perfect fit, could really be a wise choice as you jump into the real estate market because of your motivation. You can always sell later on and get to the area you want to. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Jill Thomas, and I've been a real estate agent right here in the Sarasota area since 2008. And each week I bring new videos like this about the Sarasota area and about real estate. My goal is to provide quality information so you can make the best decisions for yourself. So if you like what you see, come through me. You can schedule a 30-minute phone call with me by clicking on a link down below in the description. You can also just simply call, text, or email me. I'm here to answer all of the questions that you have as you really navigate these waters. And I also have an active Facebook and Instagram accounts, which are super local with their information that you might find interesting and maybe find fun to follow. So those links are down below as well. So we visited the past, we've talked about the present, and so now let's push on to the future. So number 3, the future. And there's 2 things I want to share with you in regards to the future in 2024. First is the election. This is a presidential election year, and yes, some people are a little apprehensive about buying or selling until they know who has been elected. This will be my fifth presidential election since I got my real estate license, and every single year I hear of people who just want to wait and see what happens. Now, of course, there's always drama evolved around the election night, but really it doesn't impact real estate too much. Election night and the weeks that follow really haven't impacted the real estate market. But I think it's just that people get peace over the unknown of what's going to happen with the election here in the United States. So the election and leading up to it actually can impact the real estate market here in 2024. The second thing that we need to look to for the future are interest rates, and they are all the talk these days. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you ask me right now, what's the interest rate today? I couldn't tell you. I could show you a history of the interest rates and try to convince you that an interest rate of something like 7.5% isn't that bad compared to the 1980s. But we're talking about the future, not the present, not the past. At the time of this recording, there's talks of interest rates going down in 2024. So you think, well, that's a good thing, right, Jill? But let me ask you a couple of questions. If the rates do go down, how do you think the buyers will react? Pretty excited, yes. So there's a lot of people who are right now on the fence about making a move. And so if those interest rates go down, I think some of those folks are going to get right off that fence. Next question. If more buyers are looking and writing offers, what do you think will happen to the prices? Yeah, those prices are possibly going to go up, especially if the supply doesn't go up in tandem. So we might be back to seeing multiple offers. So I know some of you say, let's wait for the interest rates to go down, but if they do, prices most likely could go up. So to tie this all together, I do believe that in 2024, we need to talk and think about insurance, interest rates, supply and demand, and prices. But often, if you allow what you need to do or truly want to do to carry a little bit more weight than the rest of those, I think you'll do okay. One variable improves, but can also cause a challenge in another one, like we talked about with interest rates and prices. So what do you think about my thoughts in regards to 2024? Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm off base a bit? And if you do, that's okay. That doesn't bother me. If there's something you think I should have addressed but failed to discuss, put it down below in the comments. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to be slick or sneaky. I just don't always think of every aspect, or I just don't have time to talk about everything, every little nuance. Now, let's move on to my final segment. One thing I love and one thing I hate. I love, love, love all the beautiful sunshine we have in Florida. Until I visit family up north, I forget what it's like to live with unending days of gray. And the week I was writing this video, it was rainy and gray for a couple days in a row, which is a nice change of pace on occasion. But having so much sunshine is a dream. I've worked with a lot of people who needed to move here just to see the sun and help with their depression, with their mood. And so that's a really great thing. I love the sunshine. Now, something I hate is like the sun in that it's yellow and necessary for life, but can be pretty annoying, and that is all the pollen we get here. And I, of course, know that it isn't exclusive to Florida. There's pollen all over the country, but I still don't have to like it. The yellow, sticky substance leaves a blanket over everything: the car, the outdoor furniture, the ground, and even other plants. That pollen spreads, and it's like it reaches out to stain my clothes. Heaven forbid you get too close to a car. Once, I had buyers purchase a home with a lovely koi pond in the backyard. The seller was willing to leave the fish, knowing the buyers were so excited to have them and care for them. Sadly, though, the fish died just weeks after closing. The pollen from the trees sat on top of the water, and they actually suffocated the koi. The buyers were heartbroken and felt so bad, and it can happen really fast. So, again, I know pollen's necessary for life, but I still don't have to like it. So, love the sunshine, not too fond of the pollen. Well, thank you so much for watching. Once again, if there's anything I can do for you, please reach out to me. I'm here to help. Have a great day.